Good day and welcome or welcome back. Today I'm introducing the Pawanmuktasana series. It's a three-part series of movements that helps improve the energy flow throughout the whole body. So we have part one that focuses on the joint loosening exercises, which I mentioned in one of the other videos, where we're um, focusing on our synovial joints, right? So the fingers and toes, the ankles and wrists, the knees and elbows, the hips and shoulders, um, helping to improve any energy blockages as it relates to arthritis or different rheumatisms, high blood pressure. We'll also be moving into part two, which is about, I think, about 8 movements where we're helping to strengthen not just our abdominals, but our digestive system, right? Helping to improve any disorders as it relates to constipation or excess gas, things like that. Also, very beneficial for our reproductive organs. And then we'll move into part three, which is about improving the energy flow through the whole body, eliminating blockages as it relates to our spine, also helping with our lungs. And so we'll move into those. And I'm going to just introduce the movements. We won't go through the whole practice because each part is about 20 to 30 minutes. And so the repetition for each part is about 5 to 10 repetitions. And you'll want to use the breath with each one. And of course, as I introduce each movement or each exercise, I'll instruct what the breathing component is for the movement. So you would just continue that, right? For 5 repetitions or for 10, depending on the type of time you have. These exercises can be done in the morning or in the evening. And you can just do, one part at a time. You don't have to do the whole series in one sitting, right? The joint loosening exercises I use all the time in my sessions, whether in our community sessions for groups, classes, or whether in private sessions. It's always kind of, well, not kind of, it is the foundation of the practice that we do for the session, right? So it always helps us to um, loosen up those joints before doing our warm ups. And so we'll go ahead and get started. And so, beginning with sitting on your mat. And if you're not able to get to the floor today, that's okay. You can do these exercises in your chair. I think I may have demonstrated that in one of the other videos of being in the chair. But you can listen to what I'm doing here on the floor. You can join me on the floor, or you can get a chair and still do these same exercises. And so the first one is the toe bending exercise. And so we start from, the feet, right, or our foundation and just move up. And so we'll begin with the toes. And there are Sanskrit terms for these, and I'll have all of that information in the details there, so you can read that if you want to learn a little bit more. And so we'll begin with our inhale, spreading the toes wide, and exhale, just bending the toes. Inhale, spread the toes wide, and exhale, bend the toes. I'll do it one more time. Inhale, and exhale. Okay, and so let that movement be very intentional, um, and it helps you to not breathe fast. It helps you to connect with the breath when you're doing the breath with the movement. Okay, and so you don't want to just do this, although you can, right? But we want to really get the synovial fluids moving around those joints. We're lubricating our joints here, and getting rid of those blockages. So take your time with it. Inhaling, spread the toes, and exhaling. And let the breath be fluid. And we're going to work the ankle. So try not to take the feet down when you're bending the toes. Your feet are here. You don't have to really flex them too much, but just a neutral of the feet and then the toe bending, okay? And so that's toe bending. The next is the ankle extension and flexion. And so we'll do one at a time. And so we'll just here start with our right foot, all right, and taking an inhale as we extend the ankle. And so you may be familiar with point and flex. That's what we're doing. But it's not so much a point in the toe as extending the ankle, okay? So inhale here and exhale when you flex. Inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Let's go ahead and move to the left. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay. And now we're going to do the ankle rotation. So as we start to rotate out, we'll go ahead and inhale, rotating out. And exhale, coming back up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And pause. And then we're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Okay. And we'll do the same thing on the left side. This time I'm not going to cue. I'm just going to do the breath movement. Okay. So let's begin. There. Right? And now we're going to move the ankles together. We're going to first rotate in the same direction. And so this is a little different because usually if you've done these rotations before, start rotating out, and we'll get to that. But we're going to first start to rotate in the same direction. So both ankles rotating to the right. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. And then coming back to pause. And I'm not going to cue. We're just going to move in the same direction to the left. Okay, and then pause. And you may hear some cracking going on, popping in the joints, and that's normal because they're a little bit dry. And so that's why we do this, right? We do this to clear out those energy blockages and to get that synovial fluid going around the joints to lubricate the joints. So the more you do it, it's likely that the less you'll hear the cracking and popping. Um, and this is a really good one. It's okay to do these, every morning. You can do these joint loosening exercises every day and before every yoga practice, okay? And so now we're going to move up to, actually, we have the one more time where we now take them both out at the same time. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. And then stopping and then taking them in. Okay, and so with each one, you want to take your time and try not to rush through it. And so now we're going to move into our knee bending exercise. And so we're starting again with the right leg here. We can inhale and extend and exhale. inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Okay? And so you may notice you kind of go back. We want to stay on our seat bones throughout the duration of this. And so we're interlacing the fingers and holding behind the thigh. And we did the extension and flexion. And so now we want to do the rotation. Being really cognizant of what's happening on the back side of the body. Making every effort to keep the spine long and the back flat. Resisting that urge to round here. And so inhale, chest lift. We're on the seat bones. The spine is long, the back is flat. Interlacing the fingers. And again, you can do this one in the chair too. Just come to the edge of the chair and interlace the fingers and support that thigh. Do the inhale and exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale on the flex. Okay. And now we're going to do the rotation. And so just inhale and rotate out. And you don't have to move the foot and the ankle here. The foot and the ankle is neutral. And just let the... And this one, these rotations I always like to do at least 10 times. I know we could do 5 to 10 times, but depending on where you are and how it feels. Because, you know, it takes a little getting used to this at first without the hip moving, right? We don't want the hip to move. It's why we do this support here. Kind of hold that hip still because we'll get to the movement of the hip, right? So just out, rotate out. And it will move a little bit, right? Because it's all connected. But the focus is on the rotation of the knee. And then bring it to a pause and then take it in the opposite direction. Just keep breathing. This one is not as easy to breathe with because you're moving it a little faster, but you can slow it down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay? But just move that. This is 1, and this is 2, and this is 3. Okay? And so you can keep going 5 to 10 times with that. So let's go ahead and do the opposite side, right, for balance. So we're, you know, we may have to readjust just because when we're doing yoga, and that's with any class or any pose or anything, sometimes we feel like we got to like be right in that pose. So even if we feel uncomfortable, we try to keep ourselves and stay in there. It's okay to adjust, right, as you need to. So, you know, for your own comfort, because this is for your body, right? So just readjust. If you felt yourself kind of sliding back, come back up to your seat bones here, moving that soft tissue out the way to get on the seat bones, interlacing the fingers behind the thigh, letting the spine be long. The back is flat, and inhale and exhale. Remember, knee only. Inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. Okay, now rotate out and just keep breathing. Pause and rotate in and pause. Okay, and then let it go long. And now we're moving into the hips. And so bring your right foot inside the left thigh here. And we're in a half butterfly. So we're just going to inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Okay. And I know that usually when I teach and I talk about using the breath with the body, when we're opening away from the body or the torso moves away from the legs, right? So the upper body moves away from the lower body, or the arms are going up because we're creating space. We're taking in that air. We're inhaling. And on the exhale, when we're coming into the body, integrating, the upper half is meeting the lower half, so our belly is going to our thighs. Is when we exhale. And so you would think, well, why are we inhaling when we come up, right? If this is coming toward this, why the inhale and why the exhale when we go down? Well, when we're inhaling, right, we're expanding here in the chest, right? That rib cage goes open to make space for the lungs. That diaphragm goes lower and kind of pushes that belly out. We're making space for those reproductive organs. Where there's also some movement happening in the hip here that's very subtle that we don't feel. And what happens is that pelvic floor opens, right, on the inhale. And the exhale starts to close together, right? Inhale, it opens, and exhale, it comes together. So that's why we're doing that exercise, okay? Or that's why we're doing that breathing motion. It's almost like a reverse, but because it's expanding here in our pelvic region, okay? And so we'll do that, and then we'll bring our knee, and I'll turn a little bit toward the camera for this one. So that you can see how we're going to, because we're still working on the hip joint now, bring the right hand to the right knee, and we're still on the seat bone, and the foot, right, the right foot to the left hand. We're just going to hold this here. And if you can't bring it up here, that's fine. Just hold it where you can. We're not forcing the body to do anything, and breathe with it. So inhale, try to bring it a little closer. So where your point of comfort is, and we'll just hold here and keep breathing for a moment, just so you can feel comfortable with getting there, okay? So we're holding the foot, the left hand, and the knee with the right hand. And it's a gentle hold. We're not like death gripping it, okay? It's a gentle hold. So we're just holding on to it gently here. As we're on our seat bones, the spine is still long, the back is still flat, the leg is up. And what we're going to do is, as we take an inhale here, we're going to start to exhale as the leg come out and down. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, leg goes out and down. And inhale, come back up. One more time, let's do it. Okay, and now we're going to do it in the opposite direction, all right? And so we're inhaling from here and taking it across our body now to go in the opposite direction, out and down, and inhale, come back up. Exhale, in and down, and in. Or exhale, sorry, come back up, you know what I mean? Inhale, up. Exhale, in and down, and inhale, come back. Okay, so when we start, we exhale out and down, and inhale, come back up, right? We do that 5 to 10 times, and then we reverse it. We exhale in and down, and then come back up, okay? And so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So switching out here. And you can stay long on your mat if that's comfortable for you. That's fine. Again, I'm just turning this way on the mat so that you can see me. But you can also turn this way if that feels comfortable. It just makes it so that my leg is out a little further. And you may want yours here, right? You may not want that, the leg so wide. All right. And so again, the left foot is on the inside, bringing up the left knee to the left hand and the left foot. And just for a moment, just take a pause here and notice the difference, right? Notice maybe the left side comes up a little more than the right side. Maybe the right side came up a little more than the left. But just sometimes it's fun to just be aware of the sensations on the different sides of the bodies, right? Where we may have more mobility, more flexibility, more strength on the different sides of the body. So it's just fun sometimes to be like, oh, this leg comes a little closer, or oh, this leg doesn't come as close. And that's okay, right? It's no judgment. It's just like, it's different, right? And so we'll do the same thing on this side, just holding it for a moment, You can just even inhale, excuse me, down, right? Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale and exhale, just to get a little movement going. And then we'll start from here. And so taking it out and exhaling down. Inhale, come up. And we're just rotating that hip out, right? So that's that ball and socket joint. And we're out and down and up, okay? And now we're going in and down and up. So you see, it's not the hands that's moving. The hand is just supporting. It's the hip that's moving, right? So if I took both of my hands away, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm putting more strain and pressure on my back and everything to hold up. So that's why we use it as a support, but we're not using it to move it, right? This is moving on its own, all right? And then we go from there to a full bounded angle. So we did half bounded angle on each side, or half butterfly, Baddha Konasana. And now we're in full Baddha Konasana, bounded angle or butterfly. And you can use a bind here with the hands if that feels good to help you stay lifted. Again, remember, we want that spine long, right? So the spine can never be straight because it has natural curvature, right? So we just want to have the spine stay long and the back stay flat, and try not to round out here, okay? Lift up, the chest lifts. The spine, even the cervical spine, is long here, right? Not back here. Even the front part, right? So not here, just right here. We can hold the bind. If that feels good. If that doesn't feel good, you can bring the hands back here. And even in the beginning when we did the toe bending, right, you can bring the hands back here to help stay lifted. Okay, and inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Okay, and I'll turn this way. Same thing, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And so now if you're in your chair, right, when we got it to the hip, you can still do that with the 1 foot down and just bring the knee and hand to foot. Because you're in the chair and higher up, you may not be able to bring it up as far, and that's okay. Just bring it to where you can bring it to and move it around. And for the full Baddha Konasana, if you're in the chair, you can just bring the feet together in the chair and just let the knees come up and down, right? But sometimes that chair restricts the hip movement. That's why a lot of us we have that tension here and here because we're in those chairs and seated like this. So it may be just good for you to practice sitting on the floor just throughout the day. You don't have to go through these range of exercises to do so, but maybe take about 5 minutes every day at some point in your day, if you're not someone who sits on the floor often, to make that part of your practice. Like, I'm going to sit on the floor today for 5 minutes or 3 minutes, right? Because you don't want pain coming into the body either. There may be some discomfort happening, and I guess that's another video. But you can use pillows, you can use blocks to lift the hips up a little bit to try to help them be open. And always use support to get down to the floor. So a chair, the wall, something sturdy that you can hold on to help bring you down to your mat. Okay, so that's just a little sidebar. We're going to move up into the hand, so you can go ahead and let the legs fold. And then we're going to bring our hands out in front of us, right? And so shoulders down, the back is right flat, the spine is long, we're on our seat bones. And again, if sitting cross-legged, right? An easy seat or any form of this is uncomfortable for your knees. You can go ahead and put the legs back out long, or you can get pillows, get comfy, use a block to sit on to kind of lift you up and open the hips a little more, letting the knees come down lower so that the hips are higher than the knees. Or you can get up from this point and get in the chair, whatever feels comfortable for you. So we're cross-legged, we're in easy seat, whatever feels good. And we're going to stretch our hands out in the front here, and we're going to bend the fingers. 2 and 3. So it's the same breathing. I'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. One more time. In, and there we go. And so now, keeping the fist balled, not so tight, we're just going to rotate out. 1, 2, and 3. And now rotate in. 1, 2, and 3. And remember, we're going to do that 5 to 10 times in your own practice, okay? So I'll do it one more time. Inhaling and exhaling outwardly. Remember, it's just the wrist moving, not the whole arms, just the wrist only, and now in. Okay? Let me do that one more time. In. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. All right. And now we're going to do the wrist bending. So open the palms and let the wrist flex. Let's bring the fingers together and then just bend at the wrist. Okay. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And this one last time. Inhale and exhale. Okay. And now flip the hands up, and we're going to start with the elbows. Okay. Take an inhale here and exhale. Inhale. Fingertips to the shoulders. We're moving only the elbows. We're doing the elbow bending. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Okay. And keeping the fingertips on the elbows, we're going to do the elbow rotation. And so just let the elbows rotate out. Okay. And now in. Pretty simple, huh? And now we're going to move into the shoulders. So inhale, take the elbows up. We're getting deep into the shoulder now, and exhale as we take them down and back. Okay, inhale and exhale. This one usually feels really, really good. Inhale. And using those shoulder blades, bringing them down and back, and pause here. And then we're going to reverse. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Coming on down. Nice. Okay, so that was good for the shoulders, right? And now we're going to just move into our neck stretches. So the hands can come down comfortably to the lap, the thighs, wherever. If you're seated, just place them down, whatever feels good. We're going to move into the neck stretches now, okay? And so inhale, take an inhale looking straight forward, and exhale chin to chest. Inhale and exhale. And one more time, inhale and exhale. Okay, keeping the chin down, we're going to trace the collarbone to the left. So it may be your right, and coming back to center, and now to your left. Okay, so just do this again, and then we'll connect the movement to it, okay? So to your right, and down, and then to your left, and come back down, okay? So the exhale is in the center. We're going to inhale and go to your right, and exhale, come back to center, and then we're going to inhale to your left, and we're going to exhale and come back to center, and then we're going to inhale and bring the face forward, okay? Moving on, inhaling here, and exhale, turn and look over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, turn to look over your left shoulder. And inhale back to center, and again to your right, and come back to center, and again to your left. Okay, and come back to center. And notice when you're doing that movement, right? Because some of us, we carry, just like in the hips, right? We store a lot of tension, carry a lot of stress. Same with the shoulders, right? Those hip girdles and shoulder girdles, the neck, we carry a lot of tension there. So you may find, and tightness. So you may find that when you're turning, you're bringing that shoulder with you. So if you notice that tightness is pulling that shoulder forward, just stay right here with the turn, and intentionally bring that shoulder back, right? And you can bring that shoulder back by using those back muscles, those rhomboid muscles, to engage. We talked about that in another video, helping to keep that chest lifted and those shoulders down and back. Use the rhomboid muscles to engage so that you're only using your neck muscles to turn the head and not the shoulders in. Shoulders get no action here, right? Because we already moved the shoulders. Okay, and then the last one we'll do is moving the head from side to side. And so instead of looking as if you're looking at it as if you're moving the head toward the side, right? Because that tends to bring that shoulder up, like we're bringing it to meet, which is what we don't want to do. Think of it as moving the head away from the other side so that we are visualizing and actually experiencing the stretch on the opposite side, okay? So the head is going to go to your right, but you're feeling the stretch maybe on the left side, okay? And we're not compressing up here. So if you feel that shoulder kind of come up, remember, engage back body and bring it down. And these are just subtle movements. So if you notice that it's up, don't jerk it down and away, right? Just notice, engage back body, and it comes down subtly, okay? Inhale back to center and exhale away from your right side. Inhale, center, exhale away from your left side. And you can stay there for a minute and take another breath just so that you're feeling the stretch. And sometimes when I'm here, I'll go ahead and like turn my chin down, because then I feel it in a different angle of the neck, like right behind the neck a little bit more in that sternocleidomastoid muscle. I think I said that right. Sometimes I got to read it to say it. It's like, sternocleidomastoid. Is that right? I think it is. And then come back up. Then inhale back to center. And then over to the other side. Right? And notice if this is hiking up, bring it down gently, subtly, and just feel that stretch here. And maybe just take the chin down a little bit here. And come back up and inhale. And so that's it for the neck exercises. And so this is the completion of part 1 of the Pawanmuktasana with the joint loosening exercises. I will put 2 and 3 on its own separate videos. I think that'll be more helpful. And may you wake up every morning wanting to get into your joint loosening exercises, whether you're about to practice a session or not. These are freestanding. You can do them at any point, right? You can stand at the sink or at the counter cutting your veggies and just start to rotate your ankles and bend your toes, right? It's always good for you if you start to feeling a little stressed or a little anxious. You can just start with those joint loosening exercises, especially this shoulder one. It's kind of a variation of a pandiculation, which some of you may know. I love that pandiculation. Resetting the nervous system, our sensory cortex system, and feeling energetic right in that center of that back body, man. It just feels so good. But anyway, I'll see you in part 2 and 3, and leave me some feedback, right? And subscribe. See you next time.